Okay, back in the real world. I was out this afternoon in the supermarket, just watching there. My eyes can see. Don't need to do anything. You just see. And yeah, I'm recognising the expressions of people. It's probably the correct term of reference. I remember reading at Destiny, or watching a video at Destiny Productions, or reading at destiny.co.za about, and I've heard this before, I think though specifically Destiny said there were 12 types of personality. I'm juxtaposing the word personality to expression there. I can't remember how they expressed it verbally. It was something I actually read in when I was studying in the University of Life, I used to call it, that there was only a limited perm of possibilities of a human. Destiny said there were 12 types. If I can remember correctly, don't quote me on that. And I'm sat there in the supermarket in front of my eyes. I start to recognise, and I can relate it to sort of, I see my stepmother, I already noticed my stepmother's tribe, or my second stepmother's tribe out there, all expressing themselves in the same, I won't define it, though I have defined recognition, recognisable, expressive expressions they make. And there's an old lady sat next to me, she's expressing herself in exactly the same way as this lady whose garden I used to do, until I discovered she was into symbolic reference points, and her friends were having a laugh about me coming doing her garden, and her garden related to her vagina, and well, I didn't need the money, and it's probably illegal because I was on incapacity benefit, though it paid for my heroin, which was the real reason I was doing it. And she was I like humans, anybody who's reasonable and honest. Honesty is a minimum requirement with me, and honest people generally are reasonable. Honesty is reasonable, isn't it? It only becomes unreasonable if you're not honest. So the old lady sat on the bench with me in the sat on the same bench as me in the supermarket. She's expressing herself expressively. Her expression is the same as this old lady whose garden I used to do. I never touched her vagina though. I used to do her back garden for her and enjoy it, interacting with nature, with plant life, although the word plant also has encoded symbolic undercurrent, what's the word, interpretations, that those that interpret things in a, well, I call it an unreal manner, because it's why I don't, whilst I work with symbols as such, I'm not a symbolist, in that it's all well, as far as I was concerned, it's all interpretive though. As I was just going to say that, then I started to realise, well, if it's interpretive and there's only 12 types of expression, then the terms of the expression and the interpretations of the symbols will be limited by the person, human, interpreting, if they're expressing themselves in such ways that they are recognisable as specific expressions, just out there doing the things. Some people, you can see, they hide themselves behind this, that and the other. So yeah, perhaps symbols aren't as interpretive as I was interpreting them myself, though I am not an imaginist as such, though I am able to, well, am I really need to look at, I see, I'm very aware, I've always been aware, and only realised this year, in fact, that whilst I am acutely aware, to the point where I'm saying to my support worker in the homeless hostel, if I have any problem, it is I am aware of everything around me, though it is a problem in inverted commas, because it wasn't actually. I don't mind having, which then defines and states that it isn't a problem, because something you don't mind having isn't actually a problem, is it? I mean, you don't know what the word problem actually means, which I'll do shortly. Though I realised this year that whilst I am acutely aware of my surroundings, I am not actually aware of myself at all. In fact, my abuse of substances tends to suggest that avoidance of self whilst awareness has been, well, yeah, gets very interesting, doesn't it? Avoidance of self-awareness. Drugs are awareness themselves. It's like that methadone heroin substitute. I've taken LSD, and it's, you know, it could be said to be the highest high one can ingest. Try methadone, you don't hallucinate. Like, well, don't try methadone though, for this, in this context. You don't hallucinate with it, though it is as high as LSD, as a high within conscious perceptions, awareness, conscious awareness of perceptions, perceptively aware. And so whilst people want to avoid themselves tend to be the ones who use drugs, as well as the ones who are looking for consciousness expanding experiences. The interpretive experience is a consciousness expanding experience, although I was more into downers, we call them, than highs. I don't particularly go for amphetamine, sulfate, or any of the chemical, any high. Cocaine's a different matter though, only if you can get it clean. If you can't get it clean, what happens is people don't realise they start mixing its chemistry. You get some cocaine and mix baking soda with it, or glucose even, which they do to make more money out of it. It's a chemical reaction, and you yourself become the catalyst, the crucible and the catalyst, in that you get the cocaine and say, what did I use as glucose, and put them together. Yeah, there is no chemical reaction as such. Not like when you pull, is it sodium out of the liquid and it bursts into flames, or there is no, you know, you got your cocaine, you mix some glucose with it, if you're an idiot, and it doesn't do anything. But once it's either ingested in whatever way through the nostril on the gums or injected into the vein, your body and the secretions in the body becomes the crucible, the secretions become the catalyst. Perhaps I might not be expressing it correctly there. And the chemical reactions occurring, and therefore where one would take pure cocaine and get an effect from it, when one takes cocaine and glucose together, the effect of it isn't cocaine and or glucose, it is coca-glucose. It's a different substance. It's a chemical reaction. You probably need to get some atomic scales out and weigh weigh yourself, and then weigh yourself again afterwards to find out exactly where on the periodic table the concoction you've created lies, because it would lie on the periodic table somewhere, wouldn't it? I mean, well, I don't know enough about chemistry. That was the problem with it, having to learn the periodic table. I couldn't believe it. I was aghast. What? I've got to remember all that and all them numbers, and I mean, it's probably something like a times table where you can parrot fashion it and learn it, but I've been lazy. Problem, a situational matter that is difficult to understand. Awareness, acute awareness. I suppose it could be said to be a problem, even if it's a problem one doesn't mind having. Okay. Anyway, it wasn't a problem, although if anyone was trying to define my I've been on my substance abuse with heroin, I'll readily admit, was a work avoidance scheme. In fact, I was working in a plastics factory with the machines, which in itself was torturous, but what was more torturous was the rest of the workforce avoiding work. I can't deal with that. You've got to go work. You work, and time passes if you don't watch it. You go to work avoiding work, watching the time to see what time it is. It appears to drag. So I'm there working with the machines. Even the middle management said you can't do that. They've been price worked them jobs, and you're actually showing that more work can be done that's actually being done, and you're going to have to stop it. That was the middle management saying that to me. Although I was being reckless in my work with the machines and dangerous. In fact, yeah, I could tell you even worse stories about avoiding work involving cutting, because we work with sharp knives to deflash the plastic. And so I readily admit that whilst I was working faster than the rest of them, I was being dangerous in my application, though yeah, there is definitely some ground for improvement there. But I mean, what the fuck, they're working on the machines getting a pittance. There's no motivation to do a good job. That's one of the problems. That's why you get shit work, that's why you get shit products. An equal money system where all life can live with dignity equally will make all our lives so much more livable than they currently are, as a consequence of our avoidance of ourselves. I mean, what else can you say? I mean, yeah, I was sent for a tin of red and white striped paint once and went for it by the teachers. Go to the science room, ask the chemistry teacher for a tin of red and white striped paint. Are you sure, teacher? Yeah, you can have some. I've had it off him before. I go in the classroom. I've been sent for a tin of red and white striped paint. Oh, you have you? Just a minute. He gets a tin and he paints red and white stripes inside it and gives it me. I innocently take it back to the teacher that sent me for it and give it to him. And then they have a laugh. I'm thinking, interesting. Sent me for a tin of red and white striped paint. I brought one back. They think it's funny, so what's that telling me? answers on a postcard, please. If you don't mind putting a $50 bill in with each reply to cover administration costs, we will process the answers, maybe have a poll, perhaps elect the answer that gets the highest number of votes as president for your next semester, is it?